Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition. Hello, Gary. Hello, Catherine. Hello, Eric, wearing a kilt. So, how's everybody doing, War Criminal? So, yeah, Roger Blair. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to another Monday edition. Hopefully, everybody's Monday is going well. How about you, Russ? How you feeling today?
Yeah, well, not too bad, thanks. Not too bad.
And D. Crosley. Welcome, D.
Better
Crosley.
than the
Welcome to
weather.
the show. So, yeah, interesting. Cold in northern Kentucky. I can tell you that much right now. How's it over there?
If you think it's cold in northern Kentucky, you want to be in England. Honestly, absolutely freezing. Yeah,
Is it?
and especially now with the crisis and everything, with fuel and oil and gas and people not turning their eating on. You know. Anyway, I said I won't get into, but yeah, so it's not good. Not good for anybody, really.
Yeah. So, Operation Stealth Camera. What'd you think about those pictures?
Well, I told you, well, when I were watching your show, for one thing, I don't think, don't get me wrong, looking at the pictures, when someone said it could be the chest, it's low down for a chest. If it's 5'6", it's low down. You know what I mean, sort of thing. I would have expected it being higher,
Now, the
right?
cameras were 5.5 foot off the ground,
Yeah,
approximately.
that's right. So it's like I would have expected it to be a little bit higher, taller. If the size of its chest, right, going by the size of a chest, I don't know. I think if it had been a chest, it would have been bigger because it looks close, right? But what I saw, or what I thought I saw, was it looking. Why would it have its chest up to the camera? Right, yeah. Why not, look, because sometimes they take a peek, don't they, at cameras and stuff, close. Now, this is what I saw. It's really rubbish. I sort of like saw that sort of thing, right, yeah, with
Huh.
up at the top here, right, yeah. Now, you couldn't see the eyes properly, just this, like the eyebrows and the nose. But you couldn't actually see the eyes, could you, as such, right? Then you saw this. Now the thing is, I've seen what do you call them? Gorillas are like bald on top, and then they have hair at the side. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Now, some of the Bigfoots are said to be the cone shape, which seem to be bald as well. Right. So I'm thinking, could it be something like a Bigfoot, but a young Bigfoot, lower down because it's not fully grown? Do you see what I mean?
Right.
Because I mean, a Bigfoot's not just going to be a Bigfoot all of a sudden, is it? It's not going to like pop out and then just be a Bigfoot. It's going to be taking nourishment. It's going to be growing, and sort of like, could it be a young Bigfoot looking? You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's just what I was thinking because of this. It was this, like, here, the top part where the chap said it could be the larynx, sort of like, and I'm thinking, I don't think it'd be wide enough. I don't think it'd be wide enough I think it'd go all the way across the camera. And especially when it looks like from the side, it looks like it's looking in. Right. And I'm thinking to myself, it looks close and it looks like it's looking in. So that means if it looks like it's looking in, you know what I mean? Or it has been looking and it's moved, if you see what I mean. No, and it's gone round and you're getting it from the side. And it looks like, as it sort of like looked and then gone round, you know, like behind the tree sort of thing.
Now, what do you think about the second picture a day or two later? Do you think it was the same creature?
Yeah. Yeah. Probably, you know, sort of like gone back and, you know, sort of like wanting another look, you know.
That hair was awful freaky looking, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
Eve, I'll show you the picture since you didn't get to see what we were talking about. So, Operation Stealth Camera, I placed 26 trail cameras out behind my house. And in this area of the woods, there was a lack of wildlife. We're talking lack of deer, lack of raccoons, turkeys, squirrels, just wildlife in general.
yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'll let you be the judge. So here we go. Let me get back to my screen so I can share the screen here. So we got different people's opinions here. I don't know what to think. I don't know if it's the same creature, the different creature coming back. I don't know, but I'm going to set you up on a stage here. So this is what the picture looks like. Shooting out towards the woods to a field that just got mowed. So, and I'm going to go in succession of the photographs. And you see that there's nothing in there. And we're coming up to which I have no idea what this is. And remember, the camera is 5.5 foot approximately off the ground, 5.5 feet off the ground. So that's picture number one. So, so that's the first picture. The second picture, right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks like the shoulder and the neck where it starts, the head.
And the third picture. And then it just disappears. And then we go a day and a half later and we capture this.
That looks like a left part. That looks like a left hand. The big thumb. You know, cupped.
Picture number one.
Oh, yeah. No mistaking.
So, I mean, so the hair is long.
Yeah.
And thick. So, I don't know.
You see,
But all the other trail cameras, I have bucks with velvet. I have baby deer with spots. I have turkey. I have field mice. I have raccoons, birds, all kinds of doe, spike bucks, abundance of wildlife. But this area of the woods, I had nothing. And when we went out to retrieve the trail cameras, I still got it here. Let me stop sharing my screen here. Let me go back to my main screen where I can see everybody here. My fancy GPS was malfunctioning. You know how you would drive and it'd be like, make a left turn here, make a U-turn possible. When I type in the coordinates, it kept telling me I was walking in the wrong direction, and my daughter kept getting frustrated. She was like, Dad, it's not working. It's not working. So
I also see the thing is, Grizzly, right? Yeah. Looking at that again, I can see it better now, right? Yeah. There seems to be like, you know, your lines on your forehead going across, right? But when I've just looked at it now, there, right? Yeah. When I've looked it up here on the other monitor, it looks like somebody looking at the camera like that.
So when I went to retrieve the trail cams, you can see me up close in a good picture of me opening and turning off the trail cams. So I have no idea. The hair definitely throws me off. It's very interesting. And I mean, is it the same creature? So that's my question.
You know, to be quite honest, I'm beginning to wonder because looking at it again now, I mean, you've got a full screen. I haven't, you know what I mean? Sort of like, but I'll tell you now, for one moment, looking at that, that looks like somebody is definitely doing that. Just have a look again and see what you mean.
But like I said, I mean, I was face to face with cameras, and it took a perfect picture of my face. So I don't know why it's not. I just don't understand it.
That's something that doesn't want you to see its face. For some reason, now it's, you see, there's, at first it looked like, you know, I don't watch it as such. There's a carry on from is it Star Trek, and there's an alien race with a bald head and the sides come out a bit, and the head part looked a little bit like that to start off with, but I could see like it looked bald, but from that it doesn't now. But you can definitely see there's like a nose, a ridge, and there's like laughter lines, you know, across the forehead, right? But when I look at it again, it definitely looks like somebody is doing that. See what you think. Who'd be there? Only person that would be there is somebody watching you. Somebody who's
the
been
problem
watching
though is I would, if it was a human being, I would have caught them on all the other trail cams going up there. So whatever this thing is, knew how to come in without being captured on the other trail cams, because I had these strategically placed. Because when I went up to the other trail cams, you saw me coming, right? So this one came from behind in a particular direction, and it looked like it was checking out the camera. Like, what is this? But then a day and a half, 2 days later, we got that hair part, which really threw me off because it doesn't look like the first pictures. That's why I'm saying, is it two different, I don't want to say creatures, but what is it?
There's something going on there, because there's like an hand cupped and a big thumb. I'm not saying it is, it looks like it. The fur, yeah, does look different to the first couple. But somebody mentioned something on the show when you were talking, and they said about maybe a wolf man or something.
Yeah, I saw that, and I that really freaks me out. Right? Abe would know a
Now,
lot about Dogman.
well, the thing is, dogmen. Well, I mean, other more or less more, like same family sort of thing. Again, is it a creature that lives, or is it a person that's been made into one by being bitten? As daft as it may sound, I mean, that's where the myths and legends come from. People that have been bitten like vampires. You know what I mean? And then, of course, the chap were talking about they don't like silver. Well, that goes back to with Judas and the silver coins and Christianity. Anything silver, and especially from crosses. You know what I mean? He's so like this is a minefield. Sort of like it's not clear cut. This is it, because we're dealing with things that people are seeing, myths and legend, but people are still seeing them. No matter what anybody says, people are still seeing them.
And yeah, Roger, the way I had these cameras in this area and along these particular in this wood line, the only blind spot that I had not covered is where whatever this thing was came in. So I don't understand how it knew that, because
But
in the
eyesight,
human, and
if
well,
their
the
eyesight's different,
hindsight, if they would see infrared IR or
yeah.
whatever, yes, they would have known.
It's a little bit like what happened in Vietnam, right? Yeah, with the troops when they went over. The Vietnamese, the soldiers, they could smell the troops, the Americans and English and Australians. They could smell them. A different type of smell to normal body odor. They could smell them because of the aftershave. They could smell the uniforms. They could smell the boots. What they had to do, they had to start going native and wearing the same, more or less, sort of like, and they had all the different, like, tiger stripe and stuff. And so when you're in that situation, when you start living in the woods, in the wilderness of forests and the jungle, right? Yeah, you start eating the same. So you're going to smell when you go to the latrine different, because it's going to be the same food, the same, right? Only difference is your tracks are going to be bigger, because you're a bigger, and this is why they started looking for smaller soldiers, and especially go down the tunnels, right? So, I mean, there's all this to think about, sort of like there's something very clever watching. It might see different. It might smell. It might smell the batteries. You know what I'm saying? Because batteries, you can always smell batteries. Now, some of the batteries don't have but they're still batteries, so they will have a smell to something that lives there. It'll smell it. It'll smell you. You're a different species to it. Well, that's just what I think, anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the theory on batteries, right? I did use different types of batteries. I used rechargeables, NiCad, alkaline, to test that theory as well. I did recharge all my batteries. I got my SD cards formatted. I still got some more footage to go through. It takes hours to go through all these pictures and videos.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm gonna redo and go to Plan B, and I'm gonna cover this part of the woods a little better, strategically, and see if I can't outsmart something, whatever that is. And yeah, I'll put cameras on cameras. Yes, absolutely. Maybe put a few a little bit higher up off the ground, maybe a few towards the base of the tree to get something walking. I don't know. So there's, I've got plenty of different theories to try. If it doesn't work, I go to plan C, right? So whatever it is taller than me.
That's all you can do. All as you can do is trial and error.
Yeah. So but the malfunction of the GPS and the cell phones going out that day was very interesting because it made my daughter upset because it slowed us down retrieving the cameras. Then when she got her cell phone out and got the compass out, her cell phone was malfunctioning, and she was like, something's not right. And I didn't want to spook her because I know about cryptids and the theories with electronics and interference and so forth, but also possible ley lines as well, right? That can have some interference, EMF. So let's see here. Abe says you can also download your footage to the lower speed, brother, and go frame by frame. Yes, I did that on some other videos, and because I couldn't figure out on some of my video footage, I was like, what am I recording? And it was a field mouse running up a log. That's how good some of these cameras are picking up motion. And I was like, damn. So, but that was very strange, when I went and looked at these footage, a lot of the cameras had in between 300 to 600 pictures, not counting the videos. And these others had 10 to 15 pictures and no videos, or some of them only had 6 pictures and no videos because there was no wildlife. And that struck me odd. That struck me like really weird because deers, I mean, I put these on deer trails, animal packs or animal trails, So, I used to be a hunter, so I know what to look for. And I knew this one part of the field would be a good location for animals to come in and out of, to come, in and out of the woods. But I didn't catch nothing. It just threw some red flags. But then when I saw those pictures, when I got to that camera, I was like, what is this? And then when you start clicking on it, clicking on it fast, it's like something was like checking out the camera because it came around the tree to look at it.
Yeah.
And then a night and a half later, or a day and a half later, that morning around 5:30, 5:45 in the morning, something else, I don't know if it's the same thing, came back. Or something else came, and I don't know.
Has it left you anything?
I didn't check for tracks because their leaves are on the ground.
Has it left you anything? Has it, could it have left you any stones or anything? Or were you, obviously you're busy doing a job and sometimes you might not notice.
I didn't really pay attention, but I didn't really notice anything out of the ordinary, right?
No.
There was so much frustration with the electronics acting up and everything. Hey, Brian, welcome to the show. Acting up and everything like that. It was slowing the I mean, it took me a day, almost 2 days, a day and a half to get the cameras. I had to go back out the next morning and get the rest of them. So,
wow.
And I still got 2 more cameras I have to go back out and get because we skipped them somehow. Yes, and it's in the same area as where this other camera is, where we got the 6 pictures. So,
wow, that's amazing. Is that? But it's I don't know. It's just, you know, what is it? I mean, it's a mystery, isn't it? When all said and done. But I mean, the thing is,
Yeah, I don't have bears. We don't have bears in northern Kentucky. I live outside Louisville. Don't have bears. So we can rule that out. I know what squirrels look like because I had squirrels sniff my trail cams, and you can see them perfectly clear in the pictures and videos.
that is a big whatever it is. That is big,
and it's white. Doesn't it look white?
I'd say it looks grey. Yeah, white, grey. You know what I mean? It's like,
So, Abe, I didn't really look. The leaves are on the ground right now. We don't have panthers or anything like that, cats or anything. So, but there's leaves on the ground, so there won't be any tracks unless, like somebody said, take a leaf blower out there and blow the
yeah.
leaves around. So,
Trouble is,
but
you're doing that, you're going to draw attention to yourself.
yeah, it's very interesting.
You know,
So,
that is good idea. But if you're sort of like putting something down and try to be a bit more secret, it's, you know, mind
well,
you,
there's
no
nobody
matter what you're
hunts
doing.
back there, right? Nobody hunts. Nobody goes back there.
No.
So it's a big set of woods. So I don't know. So we're gonna put more cameras out and try Plan B and see what we come up with and go from there. So I don't know.
You see, it's like I've researched over here, you know, like Bigfoot and dogmen, wolfmen, and what have you. Not as much, obviously. Crop circles and cattle mutilations. And the problem is you can't do everything. And we used to be out filming a lot and getting, you know, like good footage. Well, we thought it was. Whether you think it, other people remains to be seen, I suppose. But so, you know, it's like you've got to be careful because you spread yourself thin and you know you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. But I have come across people that have said, you know, there's been these creatures and they're not sure what they are, whether you want to call them wolf men, dog men, etc. Not as such, or not as much with your Bigfoot.
Right.
You see, I'm looking at from a distance and I'm seeing something totally different now. I'm seeing something totally different
I
with that.
guess that does look like a shoulder, doesn't it?
Definitely a shoulder. But I'm sure if you go back to the one where you think it's that one, can you see somebody more or less? I don't know whether somebody's put their arms around somebody's head. Do you know, like doing that? You know, like round where their eyes should be, and just below there's a nose. Can you see what I mean?
I guess
Can you
you
see?
can. I guess you. I
I
guess
can
you.
almost see.
I guess yeah. I guess you're seeing like a face or something.
I'm seeing a face, but there's something round it. It's like it's almost like something's got its hands around the face. You know, like that. So it's almost like somebody's gone up behind and gone like that. You know, closed its eyes, which is pretty much worrying.
Only thing I know is that when I take down the cameras and I'm face to face with the camera 3 inches away, it takes a perfect picture of
I
me.
can see the knuckles. I can actually see the knuckles. I can see the fingers going across, and I can see the knuckles going round.
See, I don't know.
And the
Now, here's
thumbs,
the other
you can see
ones.
the thumb above.
But see, I don't know. That looks like a shoulder, though.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that looks like a thumb, something cupped. That looks like an hand cup. That's definitely very, very airy. Yeah. Now those two, like you say, I'm not sure are they the same as the other thing. I'm not sure about that myself.
I don't know.
That almost looks like a cupped hand and a big thumb. You know?
That gives me the EPG-bers just looking at it.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Grizzly. I'm glad you said that, mate. I'll tell you something. I would not want to be there with you. You know what I mean? Unless I had a firearm with me, you know what I mean? Sort of like I would not want to be there without one. You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's put the EBGBs up me, to be honest. Because I mean, what you know, I mean, the thing is, again, you hear the story of Bigfoot. If it's not a Bigfoot, is a wolfman? Is a dogman there? And they said sometimes that they say that they fight. You know, like sometimes they say that they've been side by side and you know what I mean? So who's the prey? And then now what we're hearing is that there's people, you know, sort of like there's other people, and there's a few books I've seen for sale saying about so many people being missing and what have you. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna have to buy a book, and because I need to know more about this. You know, I'll tell you something. I've seen one of the most scary films, a British film, right? Yeah, called Howl, about a train stopping after it had knocked one down. One of these wolf men, and they got attacked by them. And I'm thinking to myself, I was just thinking of you, you know what I mean? Sort of like there. And I'm thinking, you know something? There's some parts of the country when you know there's something not right. You know what I mean? You can be going past and by train and looking out there, and you're thinking to yourself, you know, you could be in, if you were there, you could be in a lot of trouble. You know?
Right.
Because there's some of these areas, and especially in Wales, Scotland, you know, sort of like, and you know, there's, you know, sort of like a lot of, you know, miles, 1,000 miles, and in Scotland and what have you, of mountain ranges, woodland, you know what I mean? And you're thinking to yourself, you know,
No,
just
Derek,
makes you wonder.
I didn't notice any smell or see any hair or anything. Uh, but that you know what? I take that back. There was no hair or anything. But that's something I need to keep an eye out though for hair or something, especially if it rubs up against it. So yeah. So, but
And no smell, no.
no, because I wrapped the cord
Wow.
around each camera. So,
Mm.
but yeah, D, it's very interesting. It really makes me wonder, and I won't go in the woods at night no more. I told you all that a long time ago. So
You can
that's
see
for
why.
sure.
You can understand why. You know, that's definite. Like I say, I don't think I'd be. I don't think I'd be hanging around there whatsoever. You know, sort of like. But the thing is, you know, that there's a lot of places that are supposed to have, you know, sort of like, you know, these creatures there. You know, sort of like, if you want to call them hotspots, areas of great interest. You know, and it would appear that there's quite a few. You know, but that is unbelievable. I'm not joking. I'm just, you know, when you're thinking about the pictures, you'll know. You know, I mean, obviously you'll know, and you're thinking, what the heck is it?
Yeah, and that's
You
one
know,
thing, Derek, too. I didn't see any in any of the trail cams. I didn't see any coyotes. And that was strange too. So uh no coyotes, no foxes. Didn't see none of that. And the cameras were out there for 36 days,
yeah,
Russ.
wow,
Wasn't that about right? 36 days.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
I just cannot believe it. You know, you know. Well, I can because I knew we were going to catch something, obviously, but you know, that is spectacular. It's what it is. What it is, I just have not a clue, but
Yeah, I'm
because it looks
puzzled.
like one thing, then it does look like a chest, and it does look. You know what I mean? The thing is, it looks like what everybody else is saying as well. That's the problem. It looks, you know, you look at it one way, it looks like that. You look at it another way, and then you're thinking, but would it be wider if it were a chest? Not if it were a younger one. Not if it were a, and if it's 5'6" high, you know, that's maybe it's size of a young, you know, a young Bigfoot. You know
If
what I
I
mean?
would have
Because
had
like you
one
said,
camera turn 26, 28 degrees more, we would have caught it, whatever it was, on another camera.
they know, they can see. They, you know, it's like if you've got a night vision and you've got infrared on, you know, sort of like you can see somebody with what do you call it, infrared
Yeah, you
viewfinder,
sure can.
and sort of like, so their eyes are doing the same thing. So they're looking, and whether it's in the daytime or nighttime, it don't matter. They'll still see it. The problem is, I mean, like it tells you, you know, never use night vision in daytime.
Right.
You know, but some of the new stuff what they've got now, I mean, some of the cameras, what there is out there, don't actually need night vision because the integrated circuits inside are so good they can see what the eye sees. You know.
Right.
Having said that, if it really is dark and you can't see, you're stuck. You know what I mean? But you know, I was just thinking, I wonder how that works with these fantastic cameras what they've got. And I mean, this is the ones that we know of. This is, I mean, what have the military got?
Yeah, right.
You know, because you know they won't be still using, you know, sort of like they'll be using black light, won't they? You know what I mean? Sort of like and finding body and what have you, rather. You know, um, I don't know. It is. I'm quite taken back actually. I'm quite taken back at that. Really am.
Aaron says that's why I think the first one was the breastbone, then it moved, and you saw the clavicle and shoulder. So,
But the thing is,
hey, Crystal.
in all the time that we've watched and we people have spoke about Bigfoots, none of them have ever said that they see the sort of like the chest, and they don't see the ribs. You know what I mean? The big bulky things. So if that's something chest and ribs, that's not a Bigfoot. That's something else. You know what I mean? That's like, is it the unthinkable? Is that a dog man? Is it a wolf man? Or is it something else?
I guess I need to go buy me a chicken and stake it out in the middle of the field and film, I guess, huh?
Do you think, someone tells me I think they'd know. Mind you, I tell you something, if you did that, I would strongly suggest you buy a number of new cameras, because I think what they do, they rip them down one by one and chuck them and then get it. They won't just go get it. They'd go, you know what I mean? They'd look and they'd see which one to take down first and what have you, which one will point in where, and they'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they'd take it, because these things sound really crafty to me, you know.
Yeah, a lot of people are starting to say dog man. So, hey, No and Crystal, welcome to the show.
Right.
Appalachian Tales of Terror, welcome to the show.
Right.
So I don't know what that is. Eric thinks it's a dog man. So
I'll be honest with you. You know, I'm sort of like, I'm with Eric. I'm thinking, you know what? You know, that, because, like I said, you know, sort of like watching all these documentaries. Remember, I've never been out, so I'm a new bit of this, right? Yeah, I'm just watching videos of what people are saying they've seen and talking about the bulkiness, and sort of like, you know, I think if I'm running around, they're mistaking me for one.
look what Derek just said, or it could be my hairy ex-girlfriend. I hope his girlfriend. Hey, if he ends up on Unsolved Mysteries, we know why.
I'm. You know something? I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything.
For yeah, I shouldn't be laughing, but in spiritual and cryptid encounter, Skinwalker, and I mean that scares. That's I don't know which is worse, dog man or Skinwalker. So
you've just hit the nail on the head there. Wow. I'll tell you something, right? Yeah. That area, I would not want to be anywhere near. You know, I've been to places, and I like to go to certain places because I'm researching, investigating UFOs and crash landings, right? Yeah. And some of these places, right? Yeah, you look around and you think to yourself, if something's going to happen to you, it's going to happen to you here. You know?
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know, when you don't feel safe. You know what I mean? You don't feel safe, and you're thinking, you know, I think I want to get out of here. And you don't know if it's, because the thing is, if they think about this, right? Yeah. If a mystery stays a mystery around an area, and there's say like little towns and stuff or villages, somebody must know, right? Yeah, somebody must know. And when they don't talk about things, you start wondering, is it a conspiracy that you know, are people involved? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Are people involved in keeping the conspiracy going?
Well, spiritual and cryptid encounter says, I believe it looked at the camera, let you know to stay out of my territory. And I wonder about that.
Yeah. That's the best I can say. That's a warning. But it looks like it honestly looks like something's looking and somebody's got its hands cupping its eyes, saying, "You're not gonna see us." It's telling you you're gonna capture, but you're not gonna see us. But the problem is, it don't look like a Bigfoot.
Ah,
You, you know, you know what I
ah.
mean? It's like, and I think I think deep down you know what I mean? There's something bad there.
Well,
I can
that would
feel it.
explain the print that I got behind the house. Didn't look like a Bigfoot print then. It was more long than wide. Remember that
Yeah,
print?
yeah. With bend your legs with the knee joints going the other way.
So I don't
Oh
know.
yeah,
Now, ooh, I got the cold chills and jeebies again. See?
yeah.
Yeah.
I had when I'd seen it because I'm thinking, if this isn't a cone head and what have you, you know what I mean? Then you're sort of like, this is like, wow, this is something different. This is, I aren't saying it's somebody playing games because somebody would have to be watching you to do this, right? Yeah. But to be able to put a face right up and it looks like somebody's got their hands around, that means there's two people there. Because if it was somebody doing it like that, you'd have the shoulders. You know what I mean? Like that looks like somebody's behind doing that. Does that make any sense? Behind them. So all you're seeing is that part like that. And if you have a look, there's long marks and there's thumbs like where the nose is and where the forehead, like where the head is. It looks like somebody doing that. Not saying it is, but to me, that's what it looks like. And who's doing that? That means it'd be two people doing that, or two things.
Mm,
And
now
the
we'll
other thing is
see.
this. The other thing is this, Chris. Grizzly Chris. I'm getting confused now because I'm not joking. I'm just thinking, right? Yeah. Because where all these stories come from, we're talking about legends again and about people that have either been bitten and are part of something or they've grown up not knowing, but they are what they are and they can change, like shapeshifters. And some of these can actually feel what you're thinking as well. So if you're thinking, I'm going to go there, and they look like human to you, you might even know them. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Eric says, look at your fingers, Russ. The way you holding them looks like a rib cage.
Like that. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. It does. But it looks like somebody's. But this is it. You don't see in the history of what I've seen of Bigfoot. I have never heard or seen anybody say that a Bigfoot has a rib cage. They're like me. They've got a jelly belly. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be big, bulky things. Unless it's undernourished, they'll be glad that you're around. Bring that chicken. They'll be thinking, Grizzly, bring that chicken on. You know what I mean? It does not make any sense. If it's a Bigfoot, it's an undernourished Bigfoot. It's something that's getting nothing, but there's no deer or anything in there. You know what I mean? That's because it lives there and it's going out looking. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but in that particular set of woods, if you walk 300 yards, the woods is plentiful. of animals. It's just in that one part of that other side of that field. There's nothing in there. I don't understand. It's like the animals stay out of it. That's the best way to say it. Because
Well,
all the other
it's there.
cameras is I've got deer galore. I got does with their fawns. I got bucks. I got bucks with velvet on their antlers. I got raccoons. I've got birds. I got plethora of turkeys.
Yeah.
I mean, but just in that one
because
section,
they know not to go there.
evidently,
they know not to go there.
Evidently,
that's somebody else's territory. They're not stupid, they're not gonna, you know what I mean? But something's there, and it'll go after them.
Evidently. Wow. So I need to go out there and retrieve the other 2 cameras in that area to see what's on them.
I don't know. I'm gobsmacked. I am absolutely gobsmacked. But the only thing about the rib cage and that, I would have thought it would have been bigger if it were. But then again, if it isn't a Bigfoot and it's something else, right? Yeah, then I could understand it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's it. I don't know which is the most frightening possibility.
Well,
I really don't.
Next week, I'll have the other 2 cameras, and we'll look at the footage and see what we got on them.
That'd be fantastic.
Because I'll be going to get those this week. Because I'll be putting more cameras out in that area, specifically that area.
I'll tell you something, Grizzly, I would not be going by myself.
Oh, I don't. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, fact, and I'm gonna check out my electronics too when I go back out and see if it still malfunctions. Because it didn't when I put them out, it didn't malfunction.
They shouldn't be doing that. They should not be doing that.
Spiritual cryptid, that's what I did. I literally placed these cameras strategically to cover a geographic area. And it was, if you'd have looked at these cameras and how I put them up, you would have been like, damn, Grizzly, that was a good idea for part A. Yeah. For part A, plan A. So, interesting. So next week's show, I'll see what we have on other footage, and we'll go from there. And you are you're struck as I am on those footage, because I have no idea. Like I said, it blew my mind when I first saw it. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know what it was. I sat there, and tried to debunk everything I could, what it could have been. But like I said, I've got pictures of me walking up to the camera like here, and it takes perfectly clear pictures.
Yeah, yeah. That is something it don't want you to see. Something does not want you to see, and there's something either hiding. I don't know. I am just baffled. But congratulations, because you've done a fantastic job there, mate. You have. Honestly.
Well, look how many cameras it took to catch something. So hopefully we get some more footage on the other 2, and we'll keep trying.
The problem is, I don't think that sometimes people do. It's like people seem to think I have this all the time from media. And have you got any good footage? Do you know how, even for people that see these things regularly, do you realize how rare footage is? And sort of like aliens, UFOs, and what have you. Even though we're told there's more UFOs now, I ain't seeing all the footage coming forward. There's people saying they've seen this, that, and the other, but we're not seeing as much footage. You know what I mean? People don't realise it's rare. It doesn't, you know what I mean? You can't, I don't think they can comprehend that there's all these abductions and all this lot. It's rare. And people are wanting to see, you know. And you can't blame them because it's unbelievable. But you've done that is a fantastic job there.
A lot of hard work and a lot of man hours putting them up, taking them down, especially going through the footage. But we'll see what next week brings us, Russ.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic.
So we got another show coming up at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll see you there.
I'll be there.
All right. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.